They say my man can't run inside. They say he don't have patience. They say he don't have the vision to run inside. Decide the tackles, and all he does is go to the outside and uses his speed. Well, we're gonna debunk that myth today. So make sure y'all tighten up. Welcome to Bart. Next stop, Washington Jr.
Just win, baby.
Yo, 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 what's goody in your hoodie? It's your boy Black the quarterback, back with another installation of the Bart, the Bay Area Raider Talk. Man, we got a good one tonight. And the Raider Nation, I hear them chirping, and I hear y'all, and I'm about to show y'all because I've heard a lot of things about my man's Mike Washington Jr. I call him bad intentions. If you watch the video, you see he runs with bad intentions. He runs violent. But the thing that the knock on him, one of the knocks on him is that all he does is use his speed to go to the outside. He doesn't run to the inside. He doesn't have patience. Well, you have patience because I'm going to show you tonight plays on film of him running inside, showing patience and good leverage and all of the above. So take a look at that. And we're going to talk about a few things that the nation is talking about as well. I guess the thing Tom Brady, what Tom Brady said, nobody played good. I see some people are in their feelings and their emos about it and their emotions about what he said. Was that should that spark the team or should it be taken as disrespect? We'll talk about that a little bit. What else we got for y'all? We're gonna talk about Max Tweet a little bit. And then I have something else for you guys. Hold on. What is it? What's the name of this people? Poly Market. Poly Market is this. I don't know if you guys heard of Poly Market. Let me know. They kind of do like a poll of certain things, and in this particular poll, they're talking about who's going to be QB1 starting day one. And I'm finally proud of the nation. Y'all started to come around to what I've been trying to get y'all to understand, and I can almost leave it alone. So stay around for that. So we got a cool little show tonight. Make sure y'all hit that like button. You feel me? You gotta pay the toll to get on the bed on the BART. So if you fair hopping and not hitting the like button, then hey, you might get away with it this time. You might get away with it next time, but it's gonna be a time you ain't gonna be able to get away with it. So what's good with y'all? Do your boy a favor. Let me see. All right, where we gonna start at tonight? Let's talk about the Max Crosby tweet real quick. Let's just talk about the Max Crosby just really, really quick. Here was the tweet. Stop people pleasing, handle your business accordingly. Um, a lot of people are taking things that's being put out there in social media as, oh, we're going to trade Max. Everything is just so hypersensitive. Sensitive. He's cryptic and he's meaning this and meaning that. And if it's subliminal, then that means it's bad and all that. I mean, we don't really know what it means. I don't know what it means. I could take a wild guess. Stop people pleasing, handle business accordingly. To me, if I was to just look at it from a Max Crosby standpoint, he's always been the consummate teammate. The consummate teammate, like he always ride for whoever he's with, right or wrong. If they're right or wrong, that's what you're supposed to do. And I see a lot of people starting to lose that in this new modern era. Um, Loyalty is not a thing anymore. Um, Ride or die, that's not a thing no more. Yeah, he said, if you don't do this for AP, I'm gonna do this. If I'm all in on Pete Carroll, or he's riding with him, and then when things don't work out as planned, then everybody wanna what they call like a witch hunt. Max don't like this. Max is a diva. Max is thinking about him. Max thinks he's above the field. Max thinks this. And you wonder why he's trying to get up out of here before y'all tar and feather the guy. Like the writing is always on the wall. And the funny thing about it is usually coming from the franchise. This time it's not even coming from the franchise. It's coming from the fanaticals. So I guess that's kind of a good thing now that I think about it, because at least the fanaticals, they don't have as much influence as the inside the office. I think the head office understand where Max is. He's always made it transparent to them, and they're moving accordingly. So I don't know. Maybe you guys are seeing it different. The way I'm seeing this is maybe Max is saying to himself, stop trying to make people happy, handle business accordingly. A lot of times, subliminal texts and posts and stuff like that, they're for the person who's posting it. There's a lot of times I will post something, and if it affects you and hits you, then it might apply to you. But I could be talking to myself, and I think he was talking to himself right here, saying, just handle business accordingly. Get out your feelings and just handle business accordingly. And I think a lot of us need to get out of our feelings and handle business accordingly. And handling the business is, let's do things according to the Raiders and how they're doing things now. We complained so long about our head office being deficient and incompetent and not being a good franchise. And now that we're doing things the right way, we're the fan base looking at things and trying to make issues out of things that's no longer issues. If he says water under the bridge and the franchise treating it as water under the bridge, and there's no divide in the franchise and not a distraction, why are we making it a distraction? Why? I'm not saying we have to overlook it. I mean, forget, but we got to overlook some of it. I guess we found a way to overlook Tom Brady being in the building. We overlooked that, and Richard Seymour. We overlooked when McDaniels came over here. We overlooked when Garoppolo came over. All these people coming from the Patriots, who we supposed to be hating. The Tuck rule, we overlooked that, but we can't overlook Max Crosby and his deficiency and his ability to say too much at times. He even said it himself. He says he talks too much sometimes, and he just say things out of his feelings. But at least he owned those feelings. Yeah, he didn't apologize per se for saying the things that you can never take back. Remember, I told you there's a difference between kissing the ugly baby and the broken leg. The broken leg is something that you cannot take back. It's obvious. No matter what you do, it is what it is. You can't take back that you said that, because there's only one nation, and that's the Raider Nation. And if you believe that, go on and hit that like button one time, because there is only one nation, and that's my brand, One Nation. Because I know everybody's saying it, but it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's a thing over here, One Nation. And so, being that he said that, jumped out the window, was trying to be the same kind of guy for the Ravens, it got him burned. And I think that humbled him. I think it put things in perspective, and I think this text is a sign of that. Um, but, y'all have the rest of the offseason to try to get over it, because at the end of the day, the Raiders are going to play with Max Crosby, and we got to he's a captain. He's going to be a captain. So why don't we support our captains? Frank Webb was good. He said, for them, it's distraction. For the fans, it's something to talk about. Yeah, but a lot of these fans are saying this stuff with their whole heart and with their whole chest. And I think a lot of fans really do mean it. Because even though it is a slow time, and you're right, it's a slow time, people are cleaving to these things, and they're really showing how they really feel inside. Because I've heard people go as far as say like they don't even like Max. I mean, like hate Max type thing. And I'm like, wait, that's a little harsh. You don't even really know him, and you hate him because of the way he handling his business, or you think he's supposed to get more production for his money and all that. And he's making too much money, and although he makes below the average of pass rushers or edge rushers, like the average is like 39 million, he make 35. And then when I say, hey, how much should he make? 26. And then that's lower than the 10th person. Like, come on, we know he's more than a top 10 pass rusher in this league. So let's talk about Tom Brady, because this is another thing that showed me that the nation is leading with emotions. See, that's what 49er fans do. Lead with emotions.
If you're a Niner fan, what it do? Marshawn Lynch said, I'm a Raider.
I thought we was Raiders. I thought our feelings didn't get hurt like that. We get hurt over everything. So now Tom Brady comes out. Tom Brady comes out and he basically checks the whole nation. I mean, like, I'm talking about the team, the franchise. He checks the franchise. People get upset about that. And now they're talking about, oh, was it being disrespectful?
That shit was
That's
fucking
weak.
weak.
Like, come on now. Disrespectful? On one hand, y'all want to say he's the GOAT, and we're lucky to have the GOAT, and he knows how to win championships, and we should know how to lean on him. And so then when he leads like the GOAT leads, or lead like a leader leads, or lead like a winner, not a one-time winner, I'm talking about a perennial winner or a multi-winner, and then we question it. Like a franchise that ain't won nothing since Pac died, like even before Pac died. Like, I mean, before we even knew Pac. And so now when they try to tell us, when someone try to tell us how we should go about it, now we all in our feelings. I don't get that. So let's take a look what Tom Brady said real quick, and I will get to this video, y'all. Don't. I'm trying to give people a chance to pull up. Pull up. But let's take a look at this the tweet or the message. I don't know if you guys seen the message, but I'm gonna get it up here for you guys. Let's take a look. Yeah. What the heck is going on, man? Whenever, let me tell y'all something about streaming. Like, you can sit here all day and don't nothing happen. And then as soon as you start streaming, everything happens. Let me read some of these comments. Bruce Willis was good with my brethren. He said Brady and Seymour are trying to help the Raiders. Everyone else, we're effing it. Yeah, everybody else was effing us over. For sure they was. Who cared? What's good? And you can tell. You can tell the difference. It's kind of hard to tell if Brady is doing that or not, because I got one eye on Brady. I ain't going to even lie. I think the NFL is Trojan horsing us with Brady and the rest of the New England Patriots. But if we get a Super Bowl, I can kind of be all right with it, you know. So I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what else. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. I'm still alive. It says, keep it real. I think we're better without Max. Bro isn't a floor raiser. I believe he'd be better off on a team that's already established. Well, he'll be better off on a team that's established. Yeah, true enough. No different than Miles Garrett going to be better on the Rams than he was with Cleveland, and he set the sack record with Cleveland. So yes, that's true. But see, this is why I say Max is a Raider, and I don't think a lot of us don't appreciate Max, because Max is like, look, in my head, I know I want to be a Hall of Famer. In my head, I want to be legendary. In my head, I want to be the best. Now, the reality is that I'm not going to be those things if I don't do certain things. And And I love the Raiders so much that as long as they're trying, I'm fighting. Like the worst thing to do is fight for somebody that ain't fighting for themselves. Like, have you ever like gotten to a situation where a person would stand up for themselves and you stood up for them, but then they go back to the behavior that got them in that situation, and you keep taking up for them? Like at some point, you got to sit there and say, "Look, check this out. If you ain't gonna fight for yourself, then you can't keep beating the bully up for you. The bully gonna keep messing with you until you fight him back yourself. Otherwise, I'm gonna go over here." And so Max essentially was like, "Look, if y'all ain't gonna do nothing, I'm trying to win meaningful games. I'm still trying to be legendary because the franchise ain't loyal to the player. Y'all should know that, especially the Raider franchise. We done got rid of all our greats except for a couple, and we got to go back hell of years to get there. Like Howie Long and Al Davis was mad at Howie Long because he retired before he could trade him and get some value out of him. So if we would be better without him, I don't know. Like our defense was kind of set up to be without him because we thought he was gone. But there's no way you can't tell me that Max Crosby is not a force multiplier on any team, especially a 3-win team. So I don't really necessarily agree with that he's better, but I do agree with you that he would be better on the team that's established. Bruce Willis says, "Nah, we needed that to wake us up." I agree. Red Eyes, what's up with you? Frank Weber says, Brady and Seymour think that they are immune from getting the Raider treatment from the league. Now, you know what? That's what's going to determine or not if I think we're being, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Because if we stop getting, if things stop hurting us like that, when we start getting calls or we continue to still be able to not get penalties at a high clip, then I'm gonna be like, but I agree with you. That's gonna be something to pay attention to. I agree with you on that. What's up with the Raiders in the chat? The chat Raiders Furpo, what's good? Let's see. All right, so Brady essentially said that nobody, absolutely nobody, unequivocally nobody, nobody, nobody played well. And me personally, I agree with it. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Oh, okay. I'm wondering why I can't get the situation situated. Here we go. Trying to figure out why I couldn't get the situation situated. All right, here we go. So Tom Brady said, "I would expect a lot of improvement for where it's been." Brady said on the Stick to Football podcast. Last year we just underperformed in every area. So tell me a position we performed at. Y'all want to say the running back position, maybe? Jitty should have had 1,000 yards. Now, granted, he the one that maximized himself the most, I would say. And it's everybody's fault. So that lets you know right there that this is he's looking at it collectively because we're a team. You win as a team, you lose as a team. That's the reality. There's nobody who did a good job. There's not one player in the organization. There's not anybody involved that did the job to the level that it needs to be done at. And everyone needs to improve. And you would have to think that as applies to the rookie Genty as well. There's a lot of things that we're not aware of, and we're just looking at the yards that Genty probably didn't do. But there's a lot of things I think he did well. And it starts with me. I don't know why people got a problem with this part. The man making the statement and he's taking ownership and he's saying it starts with him. and then it filters down to the rest of the players on the field. And they got to go out there and ultimately they've got to perform at a high level. Regardless of what he's telling them, they have to be the one that perform at a high level. So he also says a massive improvement. He said this is the things that he expect his expectations for 2026. A massive improvement. And I would expect daily improvement. And I expect hourly improvement. Y'all hear that? What's that 1% rule? Get better 1%. Like daily, like you, attention to detail hourly. Like these are words of a champion, of a winner. I would, I really would, I really would. Every day that goes by when you're on a good team, every day and every week goes by, you should be better. Like a good team should be better at the end of the season than at the beginning of the season, or you're not a good team. Well, he would know that. If you have more time together and more practice and you're getting worse, something's wrong. If you have more time, more practice, you should be getting better. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Now the problem's the off season. You change players, you change coaches, and now you've got to rebuild to where you were. Like a lot of the teams I played on. The best game we played all season was the last game of the year. That says to me a lot about what the team's all about. The best, the best. Oh yeah, who did? The best game that he play is the last game because that's the most important game. That's the goal. That's the most important game. That's the goal. That's where that's what you work everything up to be at that game, and then you win that game and you dominate and you show everybody what you're made of. Not just win and like we hope we can put the coin and we just win. No, you should go in there knowing that you're gonna win because of what you put forth on the field, gradually getting better. Confidence doesn't come from just saying affirmations over and over and over and over and thinking you're going to just be better. You get better by things that you see, by the work you put in, the attention to detail, the ability to get better every day, every hour, like you say. And if you have a problem with that, then you're probably not a winner. You probably never really won anything at a high degree, or a matter of fact, you probably never won a thing multiple times. Like, like, let it be part of who you are, winning. Now, let me ask you guys. This is gonna let me know. This is gonna let me know. Now, y'all might not get in the chat and say nothing, but when you think of the word winning, like when you think of winning the championship, winning, what is the one word that you would use that would describe winning? Give me one word that describes winning. I'm about to show y'all something right now. And this ain't no knock to anybody in particular. I just want us to have a winning attitude. It starts with our attitude. Our attitude determines our altitude. And Tom Brady knows that. That's why they're not worried about scheme as much. They said that trying to coach or they're trying to bring in certain type of player, character players. Players that's going to give the extra, players that's going to be selfless and not selfish. So if you want to know if a player is going to make it here, or if we're going to trade for this player, or if this player is going to end up on our roster, is he selfish? Is he attentive to the detail? Is he a gamer? Like Kobe said, do I have to beg him to get into the gym? Do I have to beg him to come into the weight room? Do I have to motivate him, or is he self motivated? Those things are different. Say no, okay. He said winners Dodgers. Yeah, I hear you on that. Uh, okay. But you say he's not Jordan, and unfortunately his position, him trying to be those things doesn't actually develop anyone else. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because his job isn't to develop the players. There's coaches for that. He's a minority owner, and also what you call that? Not a reference, but someone that we can use as a resource. He's a resource. Like people want him to be. They want him to be on the field, literally be on the field, and say, you know, he should be doing this, and maybe you should take him out. And that's what we don't need. We don't need that. We had a problem when Al Davis was doing that. Like, and he was the owner. So now we want he shouldn't be in the broadcast booth. He should be in the building all the time. Like for what? What should he be in the building for? Is he accessible? Like if y'all haven't learned anything about Kubiak in this regime, is everybody has a job, and they kind of overlap like a Venn diagram, but they don't overimpose. And overimposing is Tom Brady trying to shadow the team as if he's the ultimate standard. No, he's a resource. He's not supposed to be on the field. I heard today like he's supposed to be on the field like with the clipboard, like oh girl from the Indianapolis Colts. Like for real, that's what we want Tom Brady to do. No, we want Tom Brady to take the bullets from the media because he's obviously great at that and divert attention away from our franchise so we don't be distracted. And that's one thing I think this regime is not going to be distracted. I don't think Kirk Kubiak is going to allow distractions. So put it in the chat. Do you guys think this was motivation or was it disrespect? I mean, I respect y'all opinion. I'm gonna say that it's not even motivation; it's inspiration. Because motivation only lasts so long. Inspiration lasts. And he essentially just went and said, "There's no way you look at this. Nobody did well. Like, how can you build a 3-win team and think that you? Well, I did good. So let me tell y'all. Before I was black the quarterback, I was black the wide receiver, and I'm sure that I was a better wide receiver than quarterback. For sure, I was. And and I played on a team. I was the first team all conference, and our team wasn't even that good, right? Although I was first team all conference, it felt good to know that hey, even on this bad team, you stood out. But we recognize that you were still one of the best in the conference. That's cool on one level, but really I don't play the game. I didn't play the game for that. I mean, it's cool for right now because I can say something hella years later, but in the moment, like, that don't help me feel better about losing. It doesn't help me feel better not being able to play meaningful games. It doesn't help me feel better about winning the matchup against other conferences and maybe state championship. Like that doesn't matter that I was a first team all conference. So it doesn't matter if Genty had almost 1,000 yards, but we only got 3 wins out of it. So how effective are you? Sure, it could be partly coaching, it could be partly whatever, but really, it's not nothing to hang your hat on. So when Tom Brady says those things, he's trying to separate the thin from the thick, the boys from the man. Because if you feel some type of way about that, then you probably don't need to be here. And that's how I look at it when the fans are saying that, he's overstepping his boundaries when he's doing that, but then they expect him to be on the field all the time, or he's being disrespectful. And I don't think Max took this as disrespect. I don't think any of our top players took it as disrespect. They took it as inspiration. And if they don't, we need some other guys in the building. For real, for real. So I'm not understanding. We already complaining about Brady on the sideline. Like we already complaining about stuff and the season ain't even started yet. Like we need to stop doing that. He wasn't ripping the Raiders. He's trying to light a fire up under us so we can turn the corner, so we can be a state franchise, so we can get back to what we were. Let me see what you're saying, because I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying. And how do you say? Let me see. How do you say your name? One much love. I don't know what that means. I want to know what it means though. It says, no, I'm not saying his job's to develop other players. I'm saying the type of game that Max Crosby plays is similar to James Harden. Going to get numbers, but what about the rest of your team? Yeah, that's a tough one. Saying he like James Harden, I don't think Max is like that kind of guy. That's an interesting comparison though, and I can see why you say that. I don't think that. I think not, I wouldn't even go as far as say the franchises let Max down because they kind of got some players in there. The players that they picked though just did not perform or did something crazy where they did not get mature or things didn't come into fruition. I think if Max had some actual help, then we would see players get better because he's putting them in position to get better. He can't make all the plays. We expect him to have all the sacks and stop all the runs and all the quarterback pressures and all the QB hits. We expect that one player to do all that. Yeah, if you expect that one player to do all that, well, you need other players that's going to help make that happen. But James Harden, that's tough. That's tough. Oh, Michael Vision. Okay, got you. Webb says, let's be real. Matt's going to have trouble transitioning to the 3-4, and his numbers will probably go down as a result. Yeah, and when I put out a video about that, let nobody watch that. But you're right. I've heard that. And I don't know how that's going to play out because in my mind, I'm trying to understand, like, Coach Robbie said one of the reasons why he came here is to coach Max Crosby. So if you want to do that, you have to have in mind Max Crosby in this 3-4 defense. And then, true enough, they got rid of him. So you might have thought about it in another way, like, okay, how do I make up for that discrepancy of a Max Crosby leaving? We're going to go to a 3-4. Okay, cool. But now that you have Max Crosby, how do you scheme? Now we're going to see if you worth your metal already, bro. Let's see if you can put Max in the situation. Max is also going to have to want to help Coach Robbie because you don't need to be on the field 90% of the time. And not only that, you need to be able to bounce around that old line, go from the left side to the right side. And he did a little bit of that last year, and he played a little bit better last year. Even so much, he even ended up with an interception. Not because he was in a different position, but what I'm saying is you're just more active. So what happens is it kind of puts you in position to be in the right spot at the right time sometimes. So I don't know. I think he does need to make some changes to his game, and hopefully those changes will help Coach Robbie get him around. So, do you guys think he's going to get over 10 sacks this year? Put a one in the chat if you think he is. Put a deuces in the chat if you say no, 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 no. Put a deuce in the chat if you don't think so. Put a one in the chat if you think so. Let's see. Okay. And let's go into, let me see, I'm trying to wait. What do you say? He's gonna say under. Okay. How many sacks you think he'll have? You think he'll be under? How many you think he'll have? Let's see how many sacks would he have. You think he'll have? I thought I seen my boy in here, the good Raider. Where'd you go, bro? The Nutty Raider Nate, Bruce Willis. I seen my boy Cool Kid, Cool Kid. I thought I seen the good Raider in here. Yeah. Okay. Furpo was good with Furpo. Oh, what's up with Raider Ben? Okay, cool, cool. All right, so let's get to this video. Let's get to the tape because he said 7 to 8 sacks. Okay, okay, that's nice. let's get to the main thing. Let's go to the main thing. Thank you, Frank, for being the one that's responding to the questions in the chat. I appreciate you, brother. Trust and believe. I'm making mental notes of the people that's really riding with your boy. All that's gonna pay off. Not that I don't appreciate the rest of y'all, because I do, because I understand there's some silent partners that like to help and participate and help the channel grow. I appreciate that, because I'm the newest kid on the block, but I'm here to be the most authentic, the rawest one out here. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things, and it ain't as many of them real ones out there as I thought it was, but I'm learning. All right, Mike TV, you said 1. Okay, you believe he'll have over 10. Okay. I'm with that. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button for your boy. Now let's go into Mike Washington Jr. Bad intentions. What are some of the things you guys heard about him in this offseason? One thing I heard that, which I know is a thing that we are focusing on in training camp or OTA so far, is his ability to give up the rock. He fumbles higher than I would like, and I'm probably sure higher than he would. So I think he fumbled 17 times and gave up 9 of them. Something like that. This is during his career. He had a bad year, but the people was good. And so I heard that the coach is saying, hey, keep the ball high, keep it tucked, because they know it. And if you're going to run between the tackles, then you definitely got to protect that rock. So we need him to hold on to the rocks. But the thing that people said that he lacked vision, he lacked patience, and that he couldn't run in between the tackles. And I'm like, I don't think that was the situation. I think his more explosive runs is to the outside. And as a running back, if you get to the outside, you know that you have a good chance of getting up out of there. And if you got the speed to get there and you're a bigger running back, then that's where you headed. And the zone scheme is that one cut, put your foot in the ground, one cut, hit the hole, be out, be about your business. And he does that well. But let's look at another part of his game that people aren't aware of.
Boy, nice little stutter step again by Washington across midfield. He's down the far sideline and
then finishes, but shows you that
That's in
dynamic
between the
lateral cutting
guards.
ability. Tips his shoulder.
And you see how, look, this is what I mean by patience. Like, if you're a speed guy, similar to like a McFadden, and I know that a lot of people compare him to McFadden because of where he went to school and everything, and I compare him more to Adrian Peterson. Not to say he is Adrian Peterson, but I'm talking about his running style because of how big and fast he is, but he also patient, and then he can wait for another hole, or he know how to set up blocks and things like that. Like McFadden was like, I'm putting one foot in the ground, hitting the hole, and I'm just running as fast as I can, trying to get to the end zone. And tackle easy. Used to get toe tackled all the time. But he was nice, don't get me wrong, but he used to get toe tackled. This guy, he put people on their back. He's a little bit more aggressive. Now, look at the patience. He has the speed, but he has the patience to set up his blocks instead of trying to use the speed to run past both of them as fast as he can.
But shows you that dynamic lateral cutting ability.
Yeah, see how he set that block up?
For Taylor Green. And the Arkansas offense running room for Mike Washington. Breaks free.
Look at that. Look at his speed.
made the tackle to save him.
So offense running for Taylor Green. And the Arkansas offense running room for Mike Washington.
See how that one cut?
for the end zone. Made the tackle to save a touchdown, and now it's Washington. Washington inside the 10.
That's saying a lot with the weather that we've experienced over the last few hours. Razorbacks find a crease on the left side of that offensive line. Washington running left. And he powers.
And if you guys notice it, he's not just trying to cut to the outside when he runs to the middle, which you want to really do because there's less defenders out there. Not to mention, there's probably only a corner out there and then maybe a safety or whatever. And when you run in the field, you run around, there's linebackers everywhere. You know, D linemen might come from behind now because they're so quick. And safeties come in to intrude the box, or even box safeties that's going to go in there and try to knock your block off. But he is not afraid to cut it back inside. And when people are saying that he's just an outside guy, I'm not seeing that to be the case on film.
Forward. DBs. Straight ahead, it's Washington. Him coming the other way.
More linebackers than DBs.
Straight ahead, it's Washington, and he's free inside the 25, and he's right near.
See, and a bunch of guys are very, very productive.
Look at these holes.
Yeah, I get that first down.
Running.
Coming off the bench today. Hand it off to Mike Washington. Big hole, and Mike
as he crosses mid.
Washington, touchdown.
That's right up the middle.
Touchdown.
Mid.
In the red zone. Look, right up the middle.
Touchdown.
That's vision right there. Nice run. Way to get that first down.
Old school looking good at down run.
Did you see that patience? Look. In the middle. Way to fight those. Way to fight for the extra yards to get the first down.
Touchdown. Old school looking good at down run. Old school looking good as it's
Going to take a
looking good as it's
going to take a look here. Fake. The quarterback dropped back into the
draw. That patience.
And Mike Washington does a great job making
for 43 yards in this game. Washington again, and it's a first down. Hogs.
Way to get the first down.
They're going to run it. And a nice move. 63% of his passes, they keep it on the ground. Washington bursting through the seam. Washington pop clutch. All the interception. 2nd and 3. Washington again. Mike. 2nd and 3. Washington again. Mike Washington with a good run. And Washington gets the first down and more. Dragging it.
still can't abandon
at the 40. Here's Washington off the right side. Did he get in? No signal.
Kicker to give him the best opportunity.
Look at that power running in the middle.
And tiptoes down
in 6. Little draw play. Washington, some
Look.
nifty moves in the end.
You guys can't tell me that's not patience.
Down in 6. Little draw
On the draw,
play.
look at that.
Washington, some nifty moves in the interior of that line. On the ground, Washington rumbles for a first down out near the. And they will with Washington into point lead for Tennessee. Here's Washington.
Look at that.
Another big collision.
Back to the middle of the field.
Point lead for Tennessee. Here's Washington. Another big collision.
Violent.
The 36 scored on their first 4 possessions of the game.
missed. Tried to go, but out again with an ankle injury.
Some room for Washington inside the 5.
Out against LSU, he's got to make plays in this one.
Good spin move by Washington as Washington goes.
So, I don't know how many plays that was, but that was hella plays, man. There's other plays inside the middle of the field, man. So I like what I see when it comes to his patience. I'm not really worried about him not trying to run to the middle of the field. When you're 6'2", you are a big target as a running back because that's not normal for running backs to be that big. But he's a physical back. He's not scared of contact. He's not afraid of it. He doesn't shy from it. He does run in between the tackles. We just saw, I don't know how many plays that was. How many plays do I think that was? That was about, I don't know, about 20 and 30 plays or whatever. 20, 25 plays is like 3.5 minutes worth of plays. So I don't think he avoids that. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Jason, what's good with Jason Marshall? He says Washington keeps Genty fresh for the playoff pushes. Exactly. I agree. Yeah, he does seem to read the blocks well, but he's in a bit of a hurry and isn't actually waiting for the blocks. And that might be something he needs to work on in the NFL. But it looks like he has some form of patience, and he doesn't outrun his blocks because I see him for sure waiting on blocks, and then he uses his speed because his first steps is vital. Like I said, he gets to top speed pretty quickly, and maybe that's something that he might have to work on in the league is you don't have to get to top speed so fast. So I agree with you on that, Webb. Yeah, yeah. Nice finish on each of every one of those carries. Yeah. And what's important is that you fall forward because I'm telling you, defenders get tired of hitting, especially safeties. They get tired of hitting a running back like that. They get tired of it, simply tired of it. And if you keep giving the ball, and same thing with Genty, they try to run up on Genty, and Genty just run through him. You give him the business. So they're going to be tired. We have physical backs. Now, Genty isn't the fastest back, but he's not an easy back to tackle. So if you're not going to be the fastest guy, be hard to tackle. And all you got to do is have some good speed, some pretty decent speed. And Genty showed he has the speed. He has home run ability. And we know Mike Washington have home run ability. Now let's see if he has home run ability in the league. And I think with good blocking, we'll see that he has home run ability. So are you guys seeing what am I seeing? Jason said I see Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was a little more patient. I don't think he was as fast, but yeah, you're right. Some of it. Yeah. So what are you guys thinking about Mike Washington Jr.? I know a lot of us like that pickup, but are we really concerned about how well he's going to play? What are you guys thinking? It'd be nice if we can get him around 450 yards. Do you think that's something possible that he could do? Get us to about 450? Is 450 a realistic goal for our running back? Webb says he gets 500. If he gets 500 and if he gets 1,000 or 1,100, I would think that's very good for our running back room. I think that'd be real, real good for our running back room. Okay. So put your comments in the comments and let me know what you guys think about Mike Washington Jr. and his ability to run inside. Do you guys still feel that way? Do you need to see more, or do you just think this is a highlight tape and is not what it advertises? Let me know. I do want to show you guys the starting quarterback poly market. Let me get this for you guys. Now, I've been telling y'all this since the beginning of the season or beginning of training camp about This isn't no competition. And I know I was one of the only ones, if not the only one, saying this. I'm pretty sure of it, but I don't, whatever. It might be some people that I haven't seen and they have said it's smaller channel, I just don't know, whatever. But I'm pretty confident that I'm the one that said this is not no competition. Matter of fact, a lot of y'all didn't even know how good Kirk Cousins was. And I kept beating the drum about that. I made videos about it. Some of y'all watch it. Shout out to y'all for the watch it, especially like the D Menaces. I know he do because he leaves a comment all the time. Shout out to D Menace. Always leaves a comment. Webb, leave great comments. Um, and if I'm forgetting you, I'm sorry, but those are the people that really stick out. And I've been saying, look, this isn't a competition because for one, they wouldn't bring Kirk Cousins in thinking that, well, Kirk Cousins wouldn't come here thinking that there's a chance that they're going to start Mendoza over him because he just left a situation like that. So I'm sure he wanted them to be transparent, and they were transparent with him, and essentially told him, "Hey, look, we need a veteran quarterback to show this kid how to get to the next level." I'm talking about to the level where he can start. Now, are you willing to teach the kid? Is the question. Let's see. Let me get this to. This is the poly market. Look what it says now. This is Pro Football Raiders Week 1 starting quarterback projection. Says 78%, 47% Aiden O'Connell, and that's went up since I seen it earlier. And then 20% Fernando. But we can go back to dates. It's like no one it's like no one thinking Aiden O'Connell's gonna start at no point. This was and see, here's a long period of time where people thinking Fernando. Can you guys see that? Let me see. Are you guys seeing that? Oh yeah. Um, for long periods of time, like May, yeah, it was like really a 50-50 job. Like could be Kirk Cousins, could be Fernando. Long time. This is when I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all for sure. I don't know. And this probably right after we see, probably after we signed them or whatnot. Some people in the knowing, but there's a right there. People just did not know. Did not know. They're thinking this is that's up for grabs. Look at this. Kirk Cousins at 48, Fernando at 48, Aiden O'Connell at 47. This is people buying into the narrative that it's a up for grab jobs. And then let me see, what is this? May 22nd. Is this where Aiden started talking about he wanted to start? I don't know for sure. But there's a spike here that says, okay, Kirk Cousins is the guy. Kirk Cousins is the guy. And then there's some more period of time when people wasn't sure. I don't know what's going on there, but look at long period of time, people thinking this, and then maybe Kirk Cousins. And then so now it's starting to get closer between Fernando and Aiden. Because now the narrative has come out, we haven't got rid of Aiden because we're going to use him as an emergency bridge quarterback. A bridge or emergency quarterback, should I say? Not bridge, or emergency. And here we go again with another spike with Kirk Cousins being the starter, with Aiden and Fernando close. A little cluster hook right there. And so here, now recently, as of like this week, people are starting to get their heads screwed on straight. Because now we see Kirk Cousins is going to probably be the starter. As of right now, that's what they're thinking. And now it's a competition between who's going to start between Aiden and Fernando? And I think some people understand that Aiden is going to be that backup. So you got him at 44% and 22%. So essentially, as of right now, people are buying the whole Kirk Cousins going to be the starting quarterback thing. And that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad people are starting to understand that because before we get into camp, because let's not try to make this a quarterback competition when this ain't a quarterback competition. And even if all things were equal, neither one of those quarterbacks are better than Kirk Cousins. The only thing that stopped Kirk Cousins is an injury, or if he hits that wall that Max Kellerman was talking about Tom Brady was going to hit. Okay, Jason Marshall said, okay, rhythm and blues. Yes, yes, yes. Black, triple salute. His stick is my guy. What's good with you? He said, low key, Mike Dub going to bring that home run ability out the backfield, bro. Yes, I agree. Rhythm and blues. Rather have whole team in rhythm before starting Mendoza. Yes, yes, very smart. His stick says, low key, I've been saying it's not a quarterback competition in camp. Kirk Cuzzo, that's what I call him, Cousin Kirk. Kirk Cuzzo, I like that. Locked in as the starter beginning of the season type way, off the bounce, off the dribble, off stretch that O line. Our O line gonna be good. Frank Webb says, interesting trends. Notice the parallels between AOC and Mendoza, where cousins are almost independent. Right. That's because we're not sure if we're gonna keep O'Connell. Because I even flopped on this. I thought we were gonna get rid of Aiden O'Connell because he's in the contract year. In the contract year, you usually gotta get some playing time. And then he said that he wants to be a starter. So I'm like, well, he got to get up out of here if he want to be a starter. So he's essentially trying to leverage himself to go somewhere else while he's on this roster. Which, if Max did that, that's called being above the shield. But when Aiden O'Connell does it, it's called auditioning for the other 31 teams. So that's interesting. But if he decides that he's going to stick it out with us, he's going to be a career backup, a career emergency guy, or a career backup because Kirk Cousins is not going to be here that long, 1 year or 2 years, depending on how well he plays this year. So um, the parallel is, what are we going to do with AOC? Because AOC is not the second best quarterback on our roster, but he's going to be the QB2 in the event that something does happen to Kirk Cousins. Knock on wood, if you with me. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy with having AOC in that position, but he has to be happy with that. Because if he's not happy with that, it's going to just create a problem that shouldn't be there. Like you're creating, you're starting to put situations in peril. A team goes out, go get an obvious bridge quarterback for a franchise quarterback. And I understand your frustration being on the roster, being overlooked, because you feel like you've been overlooked by a few coaches already. And you just like, I'm a starter. In my mind, I'm a starter. I prepare like I'm a starter. I feel like I could start in this league. And I feel like he probably could start in this league. For how long, I don't know. I don't think he's a starter in this league, but I do think he could start. If you know the difference. The difference is, can you start for a full season? Even if you do get injured, you're only out 2-3 games out of 17. Can that happen? I don't know. I don't know if AOC could do that. I don't. I don't. So if you want to be a starter and get a chance to go somewhere and compete, then we should let him do that. Unless he really wants to be able to back up and help our team get to where we're trying to go. And I would like for him to do that. I would like for him to do that. But like I said, he would have to for him to do that. So now that we kind of understand that Kirk Cousins as of right now, we understand that Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter. Here's a question I saw: is 8-9? If we finish 8-9 this year, is that progress? Would y'all consider that progress if we go 8-9 this year? Let me see what you guys say in the chat. It's 8-9 progress. Because I'm for sure gonna say yes. He's preparing to shop himself after next season. Well, we gonna have to. Oh, okay. So he's gonna play this season. And what if he doesn't get much time on the field? What if Kirk Cousins really don't get hurt, like a lot of people is anticipating? I know any other year people used to get mad when you put the injury word next to their starting quarterback, but I know a lot of people don't doing the Chip Kelly thing, hoping that this quarterback don't succeed so you can get your quarterback in there. We got a lot of Chip Kellys on the in the camp right now. So it's 8-9, and it is an improvement. Is it progress? I don't know how this is even a question. Anytime you take a 3-win team and make them an 8-win team, then that's much progression. Because you only need maybe 2 games. It usually take you 10 to get in normally, but they add the extra game, so it might be 11 to get you to heaven, but it's 10 to get you in. So you're right there. Do I think that we were a 3-win team last year? No. I think we won 3 games last year. Well, not think, I know we did, but we weren't a 3-win team. So it's not, for me, it's not a big jump for us to 3x our win total to 8 or 9 this year. Because I think we were more like a 5-win team last year. And that's not even good. That's not even good. Let's see here. We got one more thing. Let's see. So yeah, Webb says yes, that is an improvement. I would agree with you, brethren. So one last thing for you guys. I know the Jefferson trade. People are talking about that. Like I said, I did a video about that. I think there's a 1% chance that that happens. So you're saying there's a chance? I'm saying there is a small chance. I mean, there's some logic to it, but not really because their wide receiver room is kind of stacked. They just got Juwan Jennings too, and Allison over there. Addison. So their wide receiver room is not really hurting. They need to get their quarterback situation situated, and I think that's going to take at least a year for anybody to get disgruntled. Like if he was to get less than 1,000 yards or close to what he got this year, which was his lowest, his career lowest, then I think there might be an issue because then he'll be coming up on a contract year, and I don't know if he had guaranteed money, and if he doesn't, you know how that usually works. So that's the 1% logic. They said he went on first and the third. A lot of people are saying, let's swap him for Max Crosby. Do you guys think that's even smart? Swapping a wide receiver for an elite pass rusher, an elite wide receiver for elite pass rusher. Listen to that. That should even tell you the answer right there. But do you swap an elite pass rusher for elite wide receiver? That's going to be a negative for me, Ghost Rider. As much as I would like to have a Justin Jefferson on our roster, I wouldn't want it to be at the expense of getting rid of Max. Because I know if we would got rid of Max, our defense would have been 2 more years behind than what it is right now. Because our defense is already like about a year and a half behind, and that's before we even see them play because we don't know how they're going to be schemed. So Coach Robbie is a first-time defensive coordinator. We got to be patient with him. We can't expect him to have this defense hitting the ground running, but we can have a little bit higher expectation if we do have a Max Crosby on the team. Willie Wayne, what's good with you, bro? Oh, I like this. Nutty Raider Nate says need at least 10. Webb said we had a 7-win team with a 1-win. Nah, that's facts. You ain't you be hitting the nail on the head for real. We definitely have a 7-win team with a 1-win stat. 1-win stat. I agree. Do you give up a Max Crosby for a Justin Jefferson? I says no. I say no. That's kind of you don't give up a D. Like it's certain players you don't. It's certain positions you don't give up. And D. I mean, like a pass rusher. If you have an elite person there, you ride that until the wheels fall off. And our wheels fell off with Max, but at least he had a spare, and he didn't have like a regular spare. He had like a regular tire that was a spare, so we can keep on mobbing the way we were mobbing with no hiccups, no excuses. That's what I'm saying this year. No excuses. We're not looking at the record, but there's no excuses for us not to compete. We've been competitive in the off season. We've been competitive in the draft. We were competitive in free agency. Now we need to be competitive on the field. Straight up. So I say no. You don't give up a pass rusher for elite wide receiver. You can go get a good wide receiver. We don't need a great wide receiver. We don't need a wide receiver one for real like that. Kubiak showed you that they got rid of DK Metcalf. He was disgruntled with how the offense was running. He probably was over there looking at how JSN was eating, and he was like, "That's how my plate used to look. I used to get the big piece of chicken. Why he getting a big piece of chicken?" So he probably felt some type of way, and now he playing with the Steelers because we don't because the offense is not predicated on you getting a gang of targets, and that could be the similar issue with Brandon Ayuk because Brandon Ayuk felt I don't know what he was on. I don't know what he on. I don't know. You guys have any questions? Any questions for Black? Let's see, because I think I went over everything I kind of wanted to talk about real quick. Um, the Tom Brady situation. I don't know what y'all expect from Tom Brady. He pushing us, and then we saying, "Don't push us. You're not even on the field with us." And then if he on the field, well, he's really the minority order. Who do you think he is, Al Davis? He's not playing no more. Why does he think he should? These people, we're learning as we're going right now. This first time, like he brought in Pete Carroll and we and McDaniels and yeah, like, forget it. Like y'all gotta get. There has to be a learning curve. The one thing I do like about the Raiders, what they aren't doing is sitting there like sitting on their hands and trying to see if things gonna work out. They're like, oh, I don't like the way this is going. We're gonna cut bait. Okay, let's try this, y'all. They swinging. I'm saying they fighting, and we eventually connected. Excuse me. We eventually connected with Kubiak. Like, who would have thought we would have got Kubiak? Because the stars lined up that we was able to get him a quarterback. Matter of fact, he was lucky, and he should think his lucky stars he got two. Kirk Cousins. Age difference doesn't sway your opinion on that trade scenario. No, no. Max got about 2 or 3 good years left at peak level. Justin Jefferson just turned 27. You know, he probably got like 4 or 5 years peak. I'm like, when you take away players, the first question you should ask yourself is, who am I going to replace them with? Like when we get rid of Derek Carr, he had his run, and we can't go any further with the Derek Carr, and it was just time. And people are saying that, okay, fine. If you feel that, that's cool. Who do you replace him with though? With Kirk, what's my man's name? Garoppolo. We replace him with Garoppolo. We replace him with Gardner Minshew. We replace him with Geno Smith. Like, what are we doing? Like, all those we was scrapping and scraping for a player put there. There was no plan obvious. So if you're gonna take a player away, who you gonna put there? So we took away Max. Who you put there? Quiddy Pay. I don't know a lot about Quiddy Pay. I do like what I seen. Just recently did a video about Quiddy Pay and what he does bring to the table because I needed to know. I couldn't rely on the nation. A lot of people be fanning. They be saying things as a fan and not looking at it from a player aspect. And I don't blame you if you never really played the sport or anything like that. Even at the NFL level, it's a certain level of understanding that even if you did play in college, um, you just kind of don't know. But you have a better idea than someone who haven't played. But so no, I'm not concerned. I'm not really concerned about the ages. Even if they were the same age, I wouldn't make that trade for one or the other. I wouldn't trade Max for Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't. We need to run with the wide receivers we have so we can see what we have. I mean, we could do that with a better wide receiver because I personally think that in order for this scheme to work, we need another veteran wide receiver. Because I was watching the tape of Seattle's offense, and it was things that like Cooper Cup he was doing. It was things that he does as a rookie or like a second year player like a DT or like a Best J Best. They don't command that kind of gravity as a Cooper Cup, and Cooper Cup knows how to suck you into the gravity. Pause. Um, like make you respect his routes. Like just like you gotta run your routes a certain way to make them respect you because they don't know if the ball coming to you or not. But if you're doing the Randy Moss and you acting like you only run when the ball is coming to you and you loafing, then that's a tip for the defense. You need a veteran wide receivers that know how to attack the zone and make the zone navigate around them. Because a lot of times in like the trip set or whatnot, they'll have a box coverage. And if you attack the box coverage as a certain receiver, you can make the box shift so you can get another player open. But you have to be veteran. You have to be cagey. So you can run a route, and if you just run the route regular, they have regular disciplines for that. But if you're attacking certain things because you know how certain things go as a wide receiver, and you know how to make a DB bite, and you know how to garner attention, then that's how you make things happen. Like, have you guys ever seen like a wide receiver go out and he's running so hard and he looks up and he acting like the ball coming? I've done this so many times. And you make your eyes get big like the ball gonna come, and you do like that, and you make the defender respond to you, and you make the safety come over or something like that, when really it's somebody else with the ball because you garner the attention, because you make the gravity or go around you, making your players better around you, and the ball not even coming to you. Similar things I've seen with Cooper Cup. Same here. But yeah, so I'm just saying, y'all. Hopefully y'all can see that. My boy Mike Washington Jr., bad intentions. He's going to have bad intentions this year. Hope he have 500 yards. I hope I get 500 likes on this video. And if not that, let's get it to 500 views. All right, y'all. Let's get that. So make sure you get the ticket punch on the way out. Because you're on the bar. Because I'm a Raider. You're a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.